You know when you're trying to explain why one movie is just so much better than another one? Or maybe you're talking about how your city has gotten way busier over the last few years? Well, to do any of that, you've got to compare things. It's something we do all the time, and today we're going to break down exactly how to do it perfectly in English.
So check out this sentence here. It's not just a statement, right? It's an opinion, a feeling, all baked into a simple comparison. And that's exactly what we're going to get you doing today, making these kinds of comparisons so you can share what you think with total confidence.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to build a full comparison toolkit. First, why we even bother comparing. Then the basic rule, how to use more for bigger words, the tricky rule breakers, and finally putting it all together in a sentence. Let's dive in.
So, first things first, why do we even need comparisons? Well, it really boils down to two main things. First, you're comparing two separate items, saying this apple is bigger than that one. Or second, you're talking about how one thing changes over time, like, hopefully, how your English gets better and better the more you practice.
Okay, let's grab the first tool for our kit. This is the big one, the one you're going to use all the time for those short, simple adjectives. And the rule itself? Oh, it's so simple. For most of those short one-syllable words, you just stick an R on the end. That's it. This is really the foundation for pretty much everything else we're going to talk about. Let's look at some examples. Old becomes older. Clean turns into cleaner. Slow becomes slower. See the pattern? And hey, notice with words that already end in an E, like safe or nice, you don't have to add another E, just pop an R on the end. Safer, nicer, super easy.
But English, it always has a little twist, right? It's not always just a simple plug and play. Sometimes the spelling has to change a little bit, so what's up with that?
Okay, here's the main spelling change you're going to see. If you have a short word that ends with one vowel and then one consonant, think of big, big. You just double that last letter before you add the ER. So, big becomes bigger with two Gs. Same with hot becoming hotter. Easy peasy.
Okay, so we've got the ER rule down for short words. But what about longer words? The more complex ones. Well, it's time to add another tool to our collection.
It's actually pretty straightforward. For those longer adjectives, the ones with two or more syllables, we just stop using er. Instead, we pop the word more right in front of it.
Just look at these. Can you imagine saying crowder or stressfuler? It just sounds wrong, doesn't it? It's a mouthful. Instead, we get these nice, smooth comparisons. You'd say, the city is more crowded this year, or this topic is more dangerous. It just flows better.
But wait, there's one little exception to that two-syllable rule. If a word ends in Y, like happy or easy, we actually treat it like it's a short word. So you drop the Y, change it to an I, and then add ER. So it's never more happy, it's always happier. Not more easy, but easier. That's a big one to remember.
All right. So we've got rules for short words and rules for long words. You'd think we're all set, right? Well, now it's time to meet the rule breakers. These are the few super common adjectives that just play by their own rules.
And honestly, there's no secret trick to these. You just have to memorize them. But the good news is we use them so often that getting them right is going to make a huge difference in how natural you sound. So here are the big three. You'd never say gooder. It's always, always better. And you'd never say patter. It's worse. Then there's far, which can become further or farther. Honestly, people use them pretty much interchangeably these days, so don't stress too much about it. Just remember, good, bad, and far are special. Okay, fantastic. We've got all the pieces. We've got our words, our more words, and our weird rule breakers. Now let's learn how to actually build a full sentence with them.
And the secret ingredient is the word than. That's THAN. This is the little bridge word that connects the two things you're comparing. So you have thing one, your comparative word, and then followed by thing two. Their house is cleaner than ours. See? Simple, clean, effective.
Okay, but what if things are the same? How do you say that? Well, we have two really handy phrases. We use as to talk about a quality. For example, this coffee is as strong as that one. But if you're talking about something you can measure, like a specific noun, you use the same as, like this mug is the same size as that one. So one is for qualities, the other is for measures.
And just like that, you've done it. You've built a whole toolkit for comparing pretty much anything in English. Let's do a quick recap of all the awesome new skills you have.
So, what's in your toolkit now? You've got the rule for short words, you've got the more rule for long words, you know those pesky irregulars, and you've got the sentence structure down. Using than or as to connect everything, you're all set.
So, at the end of the day, what is a comparative adjective? It's just a word we use to show how two things relate to each other, or to talk about how one thing is changing. It's the language of difference, of change, of similarity. It's how we make sense of the world.
And with these tools in your pocket, you can now talk about your opinions, describe what you see, and just explain the world around you with so much more detail. So really, there's only one question left. Now that you can compare anything, what's the first thing you're going to describe?